So where else on this project am I using this idea of flexible layouts? So if I just quickly go through my project, let's have a quick look. So I've got it on my header because these things don't align. This thing does align because it goes across 10 columns. Again, this thing does align because it's going across 8 and 4, 8 and 4, 8 and 4, 8 and 4. And it's really the footer that, again, is the same kind of idea. This one aligns in this direction. So we want this to have a footer that goes across the page and then these two items that go into the middle. So this is what we're going to do next. We're going to add a footer to the page and then work the way into the content. So we're going to make a general area called footer. Now there is, again, just like header, a footer tag. So in my index.html, I need to add some content for the footer with two links inside of it and then style it up. So this is a common practice of doing things and features in HTML and CSS. We add the content, then style it up. We add a bit more content and style it up, and then add a bit more content and style it up as well. So what we're going to do at the bottom of my page in index.html is add a new tag called footer. And I'm going to open this up. There we go. Just add some space just to make it a little bit easier to read. And again, I'm going to press tab just to make it, again, indentable. See, it makes it a bit clearer what's going on and what goes inside my footer. So let's have a look. There is Instagram and email. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do an A tag because it links somewhere else. The text that people can see in here is Instagram. There we go. And outside of this, still within our footer though, we want another link for email. Now, just like we had from before, we have index, about, and contact.html. This doesn't have a separate Instagram page and it doesn't have a separate email page. Instead, what we want to do is link it to other places on the internet. So again, this isn't called link because this could go to an email, for instance. This is A for anchor. What we want to do on each one is add a space after the A with href, hypertext reference, again, nice and 80s of us there, equals in quotes. Now again, there's no space here, href equals quotes, no spaces, and we want to do the same thing for email, href equals in quotes. There we go. When we want to link to something like Instagram, we might want to link to a certain page on Instagram, like our profile page. So for instance, I want to link to the Superhigh website or the Superhigh Instagram page. So for instance, if I wanted to link to the Superhigh Instagram page here, let's say that Aria doesn't have one ready or we don't know what it is, we're just going to put https://www.instagram.com and then our username, which is this, hi Superhigh. So this will now link to Instagram when we go to this page. What about email though? Well, if I just want to open up an email, this first bit here, this HTTPS, is what's called a scheme. Basically, it's a scheme that's used in web browsers, but we don't want to use a web browser here. We want to send an email. So what I can do here is also add in mail to : So mail to will tell the browser to make a new email. Who do you want this to go to? We want it to go to aria.oslo.artist@gmail.com. Now again, this is a fake email address. I've made it up myself, so don't email this, but this is actually a real email address. But when I click this, this will actually open up in my inbox. So this will look like Instagram and email, but these are using two external links, one going to Instagram's website, and one will actually pop up something completely different. Another thing that we could actually do is actually replace this with a telephone link. So for instance, we could do tel and then someone's number, 555-123-4567. That will actually do it on a phone and load up the call screen, for instance. Now for this one, obviously it is email, so we're going to have it as an email address, but let's see how this looks. If I go back to the page right now, I'll have Instagram and email. I need to style this up a little bit nicer. So again, how do I style this up? This is in the footer. I want to make this footer a little bit bigger. I want to style it up in a nice way. So again, back in style.css, I also want to apply this styling, not just to my h1 and my nav, but also, comma, my footer. So this is a little bit larger. It's got the right style in there, Instagram and email. Now the issue that I've got is this isn't in the center of the page. It's just the default way it would sit. So I want to add this flexible layout in here for my footer. So I'm going to put the footer at the bottom. So I'm just getting some space and put footer and curly brackets. What do I want to do with this footer? Well, I want to lay it out in this flexible way, display flex. What do I want it to be in a direction? Well, I want it to be in the default row direction. If we see it right now, again, it doesn't make any change because these were text links anyway. What I want to do is move them into the middle of the page. So how do I do that? I'm going to align all the items in the center and then also justify the content in the center. So it's centered and centered in two different directions. There we go. It's kind of in the middle. Now, when I say it's kind of in the middle, it's not directly because this margin on these things is kind of offset to one side. It's only having margin left and not right. So this is kind of shifted over a little bit. It's actually 16 pixels over to the right because it's 32 over this way. So how do I overwrite this, just these links? So what I'm going to do is I want to basically get rid of this and do it just for footer links to be slightly different. So underneath here, what do I want to select? Well, I want to select the footers links, but how do I do that? Well, if I look at my index.html, I know my A tags are inside footer. And with CSS, we can do something quite similar. We want to pick the footer first of all, then add a space. And then what we'd usually do is do something to it using curly brackets, but we're not for now. We're going to do a space. And then inside the footer, we're going to pick all of the A tags and then do something to those. So notice if I hover here, it says there's 5 HTML tags on index.html. There's 5 A tags there. And on the footer one, there's only 2. So this is actually more specific here. What do we want to do here? Well, we want to basically have this margin both on the left, but also on the right as well. So here, we're going to add some margin. 0, 32, 0, 32. So let's see how that looks. This is overwriting this just for these footer links. So now what we should see is this is in the right position, but this is adding double gap, which kind of makes sense because it's 32 and 32. So we can actually have that to be a 32 gap between them by adding these as 16. So it's 16 on the left, 16 on the right. So 16 here, 16 here. So this is now 32 between them. So this is in the right position now. It's right in the middle of the page. Again, we can kind of align this to this middle point. Does that look right? That looks pretty good to me. Obviously the footer is right at the top of the page, but we want to add some content in. But these are how we do flexible layouts. We can change this really, really quickly. And this is a really powerful tool. For instance, I can click on some of these and say flex end. What happens here? This should go over here to that side, which makes sense. But I can add things like space between, which is this one. And that will kind of add the links on both sides, 1 and 2. So there's a lot of things I can actually do with this layout. So notice it doesn't align to a grid. This is actually a flexible layout, which is kind of what we want. So these are the kind of things to think about when we're actually looking at these Figma files. Does it align to a grid? Yes or no? If it does align to a grid, we'll talk about grid a little bit later. If it doesn't, we can use flex.